How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Today, I'm going to talk about what is the minimum income you need in order to be happy. The idea here is if you know how much you need to make in order to be as happy as you can be, then you can aim for that amount, make the amount, and bam, you can then set yourself up for as happy as you can be. This video is brought to you by Webull. For a limited time, you can get 5 free shares of stock just for signing up and depositing 1 penny. You used to be able to get like 2 or 3 shares, so they boosted it up to 5 shares now. In addition, you can get $5 free worth of crypto just for trading $1 worth of crypto. Check out my referral link down in the video description below. I think a lot of you guys would be familiar with this 2010 Princeton study estimated that you need about $75,000 per year in order to feel happy. After which, if you make over this, you do not gain any more happiness. This sounds really great for people that doesn't earn more than $75,000 because they can go, hey, once I reach this amount, then I can be just as happy as any really rich person, even if they make $500,000 a year. They can be in their mansion, but I can be just as happy as they are. Keep in mind that the real median household income is $67,521 for the year 2020. This is household income here, so you may have multiple income earners in the same household. This implies that the Princeton study of $75,000 in order to be happy is actually $8,000 more than the median income. This study is actually based on measuring emotional well-being, how you feel from a day-to-day basis, not life satisfaction. What the heck is the difference between emotional well-being and life satisfaction? I actually had to look up the difference between these two. Emotional well-being is really the quality of your everyday life experience. In other words, you can say something like, I don't earn very much, but I am an overall pretty happy person every single day. If you're a very happy person at 75K, do you think someone that makes $500,000 a year, it's going to wake up with a giant grin on their face? No. This is not the case. So intuitively, this does make sense that you would reach a certain level of happiness and then it would start to taper off. Life evaluation is thoughts that people have when people think about how their life is going. So you sit here and you think about your life and you know you own certain things. You go to a certain full-time job, and in comparison to your friends, you are at a certain status level. If you can sit down and look at your life overall like this and say, hey, I am in a pretty good place, then that is life evaluation. I've talked about if you want to be happy, you should not compare yourself to others. Once you start comparing, you just go down this slippery slope and you just feel worse and worse about yourself. Social media does that because it forces you to compare yourself to other people. Realistically, I think you can try, but then it's unavoidable. If you have a neighbor that you happen to pass by every day and they flash by with their brand new car and you see this every single day, or if you always hang around the same group of friends that are just a tad wealthier than you are, then you're gonna feel a little bit lower than they are, and then in turn makes your happiness not as good. Now the interesting part is this new study from Purdue University. They did some analysis on 1.7 million people across the entire globe where they looked at happiness in terms of emotional well-being and life evaluation. Let's take a look at this table over here. You have life evaluation, positive effect, and negative effect. And life evaluation just means if you have this income, then you're gonna look at your life thinking you have it pretty good. But having any more income after this is gonna cause you to have a slightly lower life evaluation afterwards. Positive effect is basically how you feel on a daily basis. Having any more than this amount means you're not gonna feel any better. You're not gonna wake up with a giant grin on your face every single day. Negative effect is just having the minimum amount of negative emotional feelings. Globally, life evaluation is $95,000. This is kind of misleading because who averages the entire globe, right? People always live in one country versus another. So let's go through all these different countries and see how different they are. Western Europe is 100K. Eastern Europe is 45K. This is really low. I guess they make less money around there. Australia, New Zealand is one of the highest, is at 125K per year. Southeast Asia, $70,000. East Asia, $110,000. I guess they're a bit richer over there, like Japan. North America, which is most relevant to you guys, is $105,000. Now, this is average across the entire United States, right? We live in different states, so it's yet gonna be different by the states after this. So as long as you earn $65,000, you're gonna feel as good as it's gonna get. The minimum negative emotions that you're gonna have tops out at $95,000. Now, the study also looked across men, women, low education, medium education, high education across the entire world. Men need about $90,000 in order to have maximal life evaluation. Women need about $100,000. Lower education people need $70,000. Medium education, $85,000. High education, $115,000. I'm not even going to speculate on why men and women are different over here, but for low, medium, and high education, it's pretty understandable because the higher education that you attend, the more money that your friends are gonna earn. The more that they earn, the more that you need to make in order to feel happy. So then we go to Bankrate. They adjusted this $105,000 figure for maximum life evaluation for the United States. Using $105,000 as a benchmark, naturally, you're gonna have some states that are higher in cost of living and other states that are really low in cost of living. The top 3 highest income that you need in order to attain maximum life evaluation is Hawaii at $203,000, New York $153,000, California at $145,000. Let's take a pause here and think about this a bit. In order to feel like you are doing well in life, $150K in California, I would say this is pretty correct in the ballpark because you have a lot of high-tech workers working around here. You keep on hearing people making at least 100K. There's other people that breaks 200K. So 150 would be around the ballpark. The lowest 3 income needed is in Mississippi, $87,000, Kansas, $91,000, Oklahoma, $93,000. You might be tempted to look at these numbers and go, okay, these numbers are great. I'm gonna take this California number, 145,000, and I'm gonna compare it to how much I earn. Maybe, I make $100,000 and I'm like, oh no, I'm a little lower than the correct amount in order to be the most happy. If I happen to make more, maybe I'll be more happy. But I think all these studies, they are slightly flawed because they do not adjust for certain things. For example, if you have a high net worth and a low income, you can still be relatively happy because you can earn a smaller amount and still achieve the same living standards as someone that earns more. If you own a home outright, you can actually earn 20 to 40K less than the same person who does not own a home and still be able to live the same life. Now, this Bankrate looked at the difference between states. There's also a huge difference living between different cities. Based on which city that you live in, you might want to adjust this number slightly as well. There's also the question of household size. If you are a single person earning $75,000 in an entire household, it's very, very different than if you have 4 people in the household and you still earn $75,000. The Purdue study, by the way, did take that into account, making $105,000 on average in the US or $145,000 on average in California does not actually guarantee happiness. Making this amount only means that you are less likely to have financial hardships, but you still need to know how to use it. Given the limited income that you have, you want to most effectively use it to make you maximally happy. To do this, you may want to use your money to buy yourself time, things that saves you time in the long run. You might want to buy services such as lawn mowing, house cleaning. Maybe you want to get takeout so you don't have to cook as much. For me, I've been buying oat milk every single week instead of making my own almond milk. Now, this saves me 5-10 minutes every single day. So this improves my quality of life, gives me more time back, and reduces the amount of stuff that I don't like to do or I think it's a chore. I think spending on experiences has been beaten to death. You basically go out with friends and family, travel, buy tickets to places, dinner with friends. You spend money on helping others or maybe gifts to other people. When Christmas comes this time, maybe you want to spend a little bit more. You might want to spend on growth, like classes. When you learn something, you feel good about yourself, that you are improving yourself, you are moving forward in life. Resist the urge to compare and remove yourself from those situations as much as possible. Now, I have an interesting question for you guys. If you have the money and you're about to buy a house, and you have 2 houses in 2 different neighborhoods, one a normal neighborhood, and you're gonna buy a pretty nice house in this normal neighborhood, or should you go for the really rich neighborhood, but the house doesn't look as good, but then the school zone is probably much better. In terms of this happiness study, it's probably best for your happiness to live in the normal neighborhood where you are more comparable to others, because if you move into the rich neighborhood, you're going to be by all these rich neighbors, and it's going to be hard for you to compete, and every single day will be a reminder of how poor you are. There's other considerations, of course. Some people might want to live in the rich neighborhoods because they want to do that for their kids. Maybe they want to put up with being poor and feeling not as happy for long duration of their life until their kids goes to school and gets out of school. Last but not least, it's known that material purchases does not make you happy for long durations of time. It's always very fun at first, and then you get used to it because people like to adapt. Once people adapt to the new surroundings or the new item, the doodad that you have, then you're not going to be as happy anymore. It's the new normal. My 2 cents on this is it really depends on the item. Some items could last a little bit longer, and other items, once you get it, it might last for a week or so in terms of boosting your happiness. People just adjust to their surroundings. If you have rich neighbors, rich people in your city, rich people in your state, or your entire country is rich, then that automatically requires you to earn more money in order to feel just as good. So you put 2 and 2 together and think, well, why don't I just move to a cheaper state or a cheaper country even? Then maybe I'm going to be more happy because then you're going to have more money to spend. Your quality of life will go up. Thanks for watching, everybody, and don't forget to give me a like and subscribe for more.